You've got,
Yeah, I guess you don't have to be in the movie, do you? I guess you should be in your bookie.
You can move this down closer. I just found myself twisting and trying to right behind me.
This stand is so light compared to ours.
Oh, really? It's pretty nasty. Okay, you ready? Did you have a good break?
Yeah.
Should I say this until the class is over?
Okay. Let's do normalization. Keep the sweatshirt, by the way. Alright, can you play okay with the shoulder, with the big...
Yeah.
Okay. Good, okay. Now just do regular tonalization. That's great that you know that. Oh, watch your bow. Got a little crooked there. Just keep going, but watch your bow so it doesn't get crooked. Keep that bow straight at the frog, frog, frog straight. There you go, there you go. Just watch out that the frog, the bow stays straight so that we can have that same clear sound. Alright. Okay, how far did you get in your first etudes?
Well, we did number 2 and we started number 3.
Okay, alright, why don't we do that next?
Oh, I got mixed up because I lost.
Where you were? You were doing great. Just do the last line. Good. Okay, 3. And then typically you would do a circle bow, so you start in the same place.
Okay.
Just because there's a rest there, you can do that. more if you have time.
Okay.
You know, if it's starting to get really easy and you're like, oh, I already knew this, then go to number 5.
Okay.
All right, let's do Quinte Etudes, page 5.
Okay. This one. No, page 33 because I wrote this out.
Should we do that page? Just kidding.
There's that.
There we go. Go to number 3. Good. Yeah, nice bow control. So now can you do it with the slurs, the smooth slurs? Ba-da. And you can do it like Grace Note still. Ba-da. Did I tell you about doing it that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. So I think the biggest thing to work on, because you really know this well, but I'm going to have you do it for 1 week, is just to make sure the double stops are balanced, so you hear both strings the same amount consistently.
Yeah.
Most of the time you do, but let's see if we can get it closer to all the time.
Okay.
Okay? But it's like anything, you'll lose your balance a little bit, but then you'll just get back to it.
Okay.
All right, good. Let's do your shifting etude from book 2. The third position shifting etudes.
Yep. Oh, on the third position one, it got me sort of mixed up, so I only did the A string and E string,
Okay.
but not on this one. This is the wrong page.
It's the wrong page.
There it is. My hand's just getting sweaty.
Okay, that's what your sweatshirt's for.
Yay.
Good. So you said the D string you had a hard time with?
No, on the book 3.
Oh, I was thinking third position. Okay. Okay, so let's do the D string here though. Good. And then the G string. Good. Now let me hear the book 3, second position one. I know you didn't do E string. I love how you're all organized. This is great. Okay, now do the A's. Let's do the E string on this one.
I put it back too much that it made sort of an E sound.
That's why you were listening, you noticed, and you fixed it. That's great. Good. Now go to the D string. So one of the tricks, I was talking about this with somebody else, that when you have a note that you're not sure what it's supposed to sound like and you're supposed to shift to it, you can play it in first position first, just to figure out what it's supposed to sound like.
It's just I didn't do this string, so I'm not used to the sound of it yet.
Right, but that's okay. So whenever you play anything, there's going to be a first time. And as you get more and more advanced, you might start doing pieces that nobody else has recorded before. And you'll be the first one ever to play it. And then you'll just have to...
Well, I would have to invent that song.
No, somebody else could write it special for you. I have friends that have music written for them all the time. They just play somebody else's music when there's no recording. Pretty cool, huh?
You can compose it yourself too, Ella.
That's
That's
what she
what
was
I
saying.
mean.
Oh.
That's what she was saying. I was saying that
Oh.
she wouldn't have, that wasn't her only option.
Oh,
But
I see.
sometimes somebody
Yeah,
would,
yeah.
That was pretty easy, right? Now try this next one without playing it in first position, see? Excellent. See, you did it. G string.
Okay. I thought I was on this one, but no, it's not.
Good for you. You got it. So just do second position this week.
Okay.
So, book. Page, what page is that?
24.
All right. Okay, I want to do the G major, we'll do the G major scale first, then we're going to do the arpeggio today.
Okay.
Is that disappointing?
No.
Oh, okay. I think it's a good adventure. you're in first position now. Right there. Excellent. 5. Oh, good arm. Nice. 6. What's after 6? Sit, shake it out, that's good.
I was just saying what I was just
Oh,
saying.
good, good.
1, 2, 3.
I think, don't use words, don't say 1, 2, 3. It's important. You help her remember that. I'm gonna just think of it in chunks, not like she's trying to count real fast, but it's like a word. I mean, we're using words because your groups of notes should be like a word, right? When you read the word cat, you don't go k, and maybe you did at the beginning, but not anymore, right?
Well, when we sound it out, it would be cat.
Right, but that's this isn't the advanced cat. This is like cat. You see it and you go cat, right? You don't go cat even. So when you are playing the notes and you have a group of notes slurred together, I want it to be like, oh, it's a word, and you just go da da dum or da 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 dum, right? You don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or worse yet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't do that at 16. There's no way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can't even, my tongue can't even do it. It just doesn't work. My poor tongue. Okay, so my brain is a tongue too, so even when I imagine it, it's tongue tied.
Tongue twister.
Exactly. Alright, so 9, wonderful chocolate strawberry, wonderful chocolate strawberry. Nice, see? Told ya. 12, what words are you going to use?
What?
What words are you going to use for 12?
Wish I had $1 million motorcycle.
Okay. Wish I had $1 million motorcycle. Wish I had $1 million motorcycle. Wish I had $1 million motorcycle. So the other thing is to divide it into 3, and each of those beats gets 4 notes. So here's my 3. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. Wanna try that?
Oh, I didn't practice 12 with the metronome because it was too hard.
That's okay. We'll start today. And what happens if you mess up? Do you know what happens? I throw the metronome across the room. And your mom is a duck. See how fast your mom is. Do you think she's pretty fast, or do you think I'll hit her in her head?
I don't know.
I was just going to throw it in the corner anyway, so she'll be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not on it.
Well, it's going so fast, you never know what will end up.
That's true. It might bounce off the corner and hit you over. So she has to be prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to try it. In fact, there's 2 things I want you to learn. I want you to learn how to do 12 slurred, and I want you to learn how to mess up. Do you know how to mess up?
4.
Yes, but can you mess up and smile about it?
Yeah.
You can still be upset, but I want you to be like, well, that was interesting. One and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. If you don't like motorcycles, you can change the words. Just go for it. Here, do it once without. Do it without the metronome. Can you remember?
No.
All right, so let's do it with the metronome this time. I want you to go all the way from beginning to end, and I want it to be the worst you've ever done. I want you to see what happens when you do something really horribly. Okay? So don't try too hard. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
All right. Keep going, you're not done. Keep going. That was not bad enough. You have to keep going. My dear, sweetie, come here. You're going to be okay. This is part of learning these mistakes we're making. Right? This is part of where you figure out what you need to work on. And I know you want it to sound beautiful because you probably like listening to beautiful music, but I'm not going to make you play it over and over again like this. But I want you to learn to take risks. I want you to be courageous. Okay? And I also want you to know that when you make a mistake, if after you make that mistake, you're going to be okay. But you won't know that until you make the mistake. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I know sometimes it's hard to believe that. But what you can do is you can play it with the metronome, and you can play it really disgustingly, and then you go, guess I need to practice that. And that's okay, right? But if you always go slow and careful, you don't have the same adventures. Now, when you're driving a car, go slow and careful. That's not something that you want to, take risks on necessarily, right? But this is a violin. Right? You're not going to have a car accident if you make a mistake on your note. Do you think? Or do you think maybe it'll cause somebody else's car accident out there?
I do.
Should we play the scale and see if there's a big screech afterwards? You think there will be? Or maybe this rain is because somebody practiced their scales out of tune. What do you think?
I don't know.
Right, rain is a good thing.
Didn't you kind of talk about this with some pieces quite a while back about that there were kind of 3 ways that you had Ella practice the piece? One way was when she was one way was to have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Another way was to go slowly and carefully.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the third way? I forgot.
Oh, I mean, out of context.
But
I don't
anyway.
remember. But yeah, there's different.
Maybe this is kind of like that, Ella. This is like maybe sometimes you practice it slowly and carefully, and sometimes you practice it with abandon. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that part of it helps us figure out what to practice when we're slow and careful. So if we go fast and push ourselves and try it and then mess up, it makes it clearer what to practice. And it certainly helps me as a teacher know what to ask you to practice. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you have to push to your edge. That's part of it. So it's actually a very responsible thing to practice in a way where you make mistakes. It's not an irresponsible thing. Now, if you did it all the time and you just kept playing it sloppily over and over and over again, that would not be responsible, right? Especially if you weren't having fun, then there wouldn't even be any point to it. But I'm telling you that there's a learning point to playing it and just letting it be sloppy. And that's why I'm pushing it so much. And I know it feels really uncomfortable for you and maybe even a little scary. Does it feel a little scary? Yeah. So, and that's hard. I can tell you that you're going to be okay. When you're done with the scale and you start at the beginning and you get to the end and it sounds disgusting, guess what's going to happen? You're going to know what to practice. You're going to be okay. You might be a little disappointed in the scale, right? And that's okay. We can be disappointed in things, but we're still safe. And I think right now I'm more interested in you feeling safe and trusting that you're safe than I am in you playing the violin beautifully. We'll get to that. I promise we'll get to beautiful violin playing. But right now I want you to know that in this room you can play really gross music and you're safe. Okay? Even if you do something crazy like stick your bow up my nose because you aren't being careful, I might be a little disappointed, but you'll still be safe. right? I'm still always gonna care about you, no matter what. Even if you stick your bow up my nose. Don't stick your bow up my nose though. I would prefer you don't do that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really do it if my bow's not even that long.
I know, but if I like lean forward and then, well, because your bow is flat. I'd have had a bow go up my nose.
Oh.
Yeah, one of my students, he was bows looking around and it went right in my nose. Not all the way up, obviously. It doesn't really fit all the way up. But it doesn't happen. But I still like him. I still care about him. He's in college now. He doesn't stick his bow up anybody's nose anymore. All right, you willing to try it one more time? Okay, and I want you to go all the way to the end, no matter how gross it is. I know you're not gonna know what to do, just fake it, make it up. It's gonna be horrible. Let's just plan. You ready? It's gonna be disgusting. And then find out at the end what happens. I promise I'm not gonna throw the metronome. It's an antique. Excellent! Excellent! Oh, she did it! Okay, so now we turn the metronome on. So your job is to go all the way until you play one of them with the metronome, until you play something and it's disgusting. And it has to be disgusting in order to turn off the metronome. And I want you to go all the way from beginning to the end of it. Disgusting. And then you can turn off the metronome. But at least one scale has to be gross before you can turn off the metronome.
We had an interesting discussion once about when Ella was disappointed in something at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Ella how long she thought she should play the quint etude before you would think it was perfect, and how long she thought I would think she had to play it for before you thought it was perfect, and how long Marshall would think.
Interesting.
And it was really interesting because Ella said a week,
For whom?
No, 2.
2 weeks.
For
And I said it would never be perfect because you can't ever be perfect on the violin. But I went, so this reminds me of that, Ella. Can I just ask you, when do you think that you should be able to play that, what you just tried, perfectly? I'm just curious. How long do you think it should take you before you should get it on the metronome, all 12 notes? How long? Like
how many days of practice?
10 minutes, 3 hours, a week? How long? I'm just curious.
Well, maybe forever because there's no such
Well, no,
thing.
I'm just saying not forever, but just
Your goal being not necessarily perfect, but just getting it all
yeah, just
accurately with
getting
the-
it all, just doing it all and all of it in 12 of them. How long?
Maybe almost a year.
A
You
year?
think it'll be
And maybe you could then ask your teacher, how long does she think it will take you to learn it? Maybe then you can kind of figure out what your goals should be, right?
how long did it take you to learn 9 with the metronome? After you knew 8, how long was it for 9?
I didn't do 9 really. Oh,
You did 9 today.
yeah. Oh, I just did.
What's that?
I just did it.
You just did.
I didn't really practice that much with the metronome,
Okay.
but I did some.
So I will tell you that what's going to help you play 12 with the metronome is playing through 9 with the metronome a lot. And if you can play 9 with the metronome and get it easier and easier and easier and easier, at the same time practicing 12 without the metronome, but not going only slowly, but pushing your envelope, it'll get there. Right? 9 to 12 is a bigger jump than 8 to 9, obviously.
Of course, because you skipped 10.
And 11 besides. So it's tricky.
And 12 to 16.
That's a big
14,
jump.
15, 16.
So, you know, it could take a week or two of really careful practice playing 9 and 12 extra. 9 extra with the metronome and 12 extra by itself without the metronome.
Well, would it take 3 months if she never tries to do it
If she
super
never,
fast with mistakes? If she never takes those risks, will it take her longer?
I think it'll take her longer. Yeah.
Longer.
Yeah.
So the risks help you.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Now, if you never practice it at all, it will never happen.
That's true too.
So the careful practice that you do is crazy helpful. I'm so glad that you practice carefully, but just once in a while I want you to take a risk and test the water. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we should move on and play Beret. Save time, make it easier for me. The chords, you did nice notes and a nice lilt to it, but remember how beautiful. Remember how in the Quint Etudes you did such a nice job playing two notes at once? Yeah, can you do that on your chords as well here? Good catch. Okay, let's just skip to the minor section. The one place where you said the bowing is wrong, I didn't notice that the bowing was wrong, but it's a really awkward feeling spot because of how
I was sort of going faster than I usually play it, so the bowing felt weird since I was doing it faster.
Can I borrow your violin for a second?
Yeah.
So the one thing I want you to work on is the tone. Sort of leaning in a little bit more. Yeah, I think the wrong size. There's a couple places in the minor section where it was nice. So just so we don't have fuzz, you could use some, this bow does not need to be too tightened to work well, and you could use some more rosin. But we'll worry about that when you practice, before you practice. Okay?
I have some in my case.
Yeah, but we've saw your lesson's over already. So just do the beginning of the sides.
I need my music. Down there.
A little faster. Yeah, you can do it faster. But yeah, bum bum bottom. Have more fun. So speed a little bit faster at the front, at the beginning. Can you do it from there one more time?
I thought it was on the E.
So this was one. There you go. 1 beat. Yeah. So don't play. These aren't long. So you don't play them into the rest. 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 That's it. Here, these are longer. Rest. That's it. Okay, do you know what instrument plays here? In the orchestra version? Otherwise, it's obvious piano. Drums. The timpani. So
Oh,
you
I
have to-
knew that, but you said it played the same note.
What's that?
You said it played the same note.
It said it played the same note. What do you mean?
Like
You said there was an instrument in
instrument
the
that
orchestra
played
that played the same note.
During the note. During the note. Not necessarily the
Then I
same.
would have gotten that.
Oh well. Sorry for the confusion.
Oh well.
Now you know. All right, my dear. We need to wrap up. Okay. All right. Thank you.